and gentlemen, my name is Rahul Khanna and I'm honored to head today's discussion on capital punishment. Did you know the topic capital punishment has been an argumentative issue for centuries and also remains one of the most debatable issues within the criminal justice system? Capital punishment serves as a deterrent against criminal behavior and also acts as a form of punishment for more severe crimes. However, there are those who say that capital punishment is a very immoral practice due to the lack of evidence that it is far more effective than other forms of punishment. So with that, do you think this is the only method to punish criminal, or is there another alternative? Many nations all over the planet have made a great stride in ceasing to apply capital punishment, which has caused a noteworthy reduction in recent times. For example, in 2021, more than 120 nations have ended implementation of this type of punishments since it deemed to go against the fundamental rights of humans. The rising trend shows the understanding that capital punishment is a degrading punishment that comes in conflict with the ideals of a compassionate society. As a member of society, do you think capital punishment will fade away? Or do you think it will stay forever? In considering sensitive matters, it is crucial to recognize the biases and also the privileges that might take place when giving someone sentence. Many research studies have revealed that there are many disparities in the application of the death penalty, even when comparing offenders who have committed identical acts. As a result, many of these prejudices are individuals who are falsely convicted and also condemned to death. To guarantee the criminal justice system is always fair and equal to all individuals, it is crucial to identify these major concerns. Now that I have given you with some background information on the topic, I would like to hand over the floor to Stephen Raj to further elaborate on death penalty in Malaysia. Stephen, please take it away. And with that, that's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Shraddha. While there are many valid arguments for the use of capital punishment, I would like to share my opinion on why I believe it is appropriate to use in this era. Capital punishment has long been promoted as crime prevention strategy. Laws that are intended to deter crime and manage offenders are outlined in the Prevention of Crime Act of 1959, which is used to deter crime and also manage the social order in our society. However, capital punishment is not only a deterrent, it is also a sensible choice financially. The cost of keeping offenders in prison for a long time is high since it requires a lot of food, energy, and cell space. Capital punishment can also lower the overall jail population and lower the possibility of staff violence. So, do you think it's fair to consider how much money can be saved while deciding whether or not to use capital punishment? The application of capital punishment must also provide the relative of victims with justice. Capital punishment can also bring justice and closure to all individuals who have lost loved ones because of horrible crimes. The death sentence recognizes the seriousness of the act committed against them. The aftermath of a crime is frequently traumatizing for the victim and their family. Capital punishment is also a kind of social justice. According to retributive justice, the sentence must correspond to the offense that was committed. Society may make sure that justice is served and the law is upheld by harshly punishing the criminals. It should be noted, however, that there are those who oppose capital punishment in Malaysia and elsewhere, and that these views are not without disagreement, ethics, human rights, and the state's responsibility to its citizens, all factor into the contentious discussion around the death penalty. Those who disagree with the use of capital punishment say it's wrong for the government to have the right to kill anyone no matter what crime they committed. Others contend that capital punishment is ineffective as crime deterrent and educational and rehabilitative measures must be prioritized instead. As the debate continues, what is your opinion on the use of death penalty as a means of reducing crimes? Would it be more effective to explore alternative approaches?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kha'dijah. While there are certainly valid arguments for the use of capital punishment, I would like to share my opinion on why I believe it is inappropriate to use in this era. No matter what somebody might be charged with, they have the right to live. Unfortunately, countless time, an innocent person has been wrongly sentenced to death. From a Sharia point of view, human life is inviolable and cannot be taken away by mortals. Hence, capital punishment is contrary to the elementary rules of Islamic teaching. The United Nations has requested that the execution penalty be abolished, and approximately 106 states did just that in 2017. Do you think that capital punishment is compatible with your belief in the dignity of a human being, or do you think it should be done away altogether? Over 100 nations answered the United Nations request to eliminate capital punishment in 2017. Some supporters believe executing criminals can prevent wrongdoing and relieve families of victims. However, opposers argue this goes against people's rights and causes an innocent person to be in danger. Studies indicates that less fortunate populations are the most affected group by the capital punishment. In Malaysia, we have also implemented measures to reduce the use of the death sentence. In 2017, the Dangerous Drugs Act of 1952 was amended to reduce the mandatory of capital punishment for drug offences from life imprisonment to a minimum of 30 years in prison or a maximum of life imprisonment. This is a step in the right direction towards a more just and human justice system. What do you think? Is there anything else that the Malaysian government could have done to make its justice system more humane and lower the number of people sentenced to death? Even though there are undoubtedly arguments for the use of capital punishment, I believe that it is no longer appropriate in this era. It violates basic human rights, is contrary to Sharia principles, and have a negative effect on individuals and their families.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Siti Nur Shafi Alia binti Sarisai, and today we are gathered here to talk about alternative to capital punishment. Let's start by discussing the reason that many nations have excluded themselves from using capital punishment. Why? Also, you guys also wonder, is it? It is because violation of human rights is one of the key causes. A person's life is taken as a retribution for a crime that have been committed is viewed as cruel and also against the notion that everyone has the right to life. So in light of this, do you consider capital punishment a violation of human rights? Let's now look at several alternatives to capital punishment. Life without parole is the first option. This implies that the offender will serve out the remainder of their natural life in prison without the chance of parole. This option is typically only available to people who have committed to violent or significant crimes like serial killers or rapists. Although this may appear to be a severe penalty, it's guaranteed that the perpetrator is not a danger to society and offers comfort to the victim and their families. Rehabilitation is the second option. This strategy tries to deter people from committing crimes in the future by giving them the means and tools necessary to live productive lives. Offenders may be sent to juvenile detention facilities, moral rehabilitation, or correctional facilities, where they can receive an instruction and training to hone their abilities and get ready to integrate into the society. So, do you guys think that rehabilitation programs are effective for all criminals or only for some offenders? Before I wrap you up, I want to emphasize that the government has a variety of options for dealing with the offender, guarantee that their rights are fairly safeguarded and there is continued to the public safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rabia Tuwadanya and I'll be explaining the future of capital punishment. The Malaysia Parliament is currently considering abolishing mandatory capital punishment and life sentences, which would be a historic decision taken to respect everyone's right to life. Capital punishment has been heavily criticized due to the large number of botched executions and the cruel nature of this punishment. Let us look at the most recent event in the use of capital punishment. Malaysia used both hanging and firing squad execution for capital punishment. As of 2015, the punishment was mandatory for 12 offences and optional for 30 others. How do you feel about this practice? Do you find them to be harsh or inhumane? Some argue that life sentences are more effective deterrents than capital punishment, while others support the use of capital punishment to protect citizen life and safety. Another significant innovation is the incorporation of technology into the execution process. Some experts recommend the use of lethal injection with drugs that are not subject to shortages or export restriction, while others have proposed using drones to carry out the execution. It is necessary to consider the moral and ethical implications of capital punishment and its use of technology. So, how do you feel about the employment of technology in lethal injection? As society changes, we must continue to have open discussion about capital punishment and its place in our legal system. Exploration this alternative can help us to think more critically about how we can create a more just and equitable society.
My dear classmates, my name is Shami Karanisa and today I'll summarize everything that has been presented today. Capital punishment has been an emotional charged topic for decades, passionately from both sides. Opponent says that it deters criminals' behavior and help victims' family find closure, while opponent says that it breaches human rights and unfairly affects some groups and could lead to execution of innocent people. Some suggest that capital punishment is not equitable because innocent individuals may potentially be killed. It has also been demonstrated that minority and low income could be disproportionately affected. Alternative punishment like life imprisonment and rehabilitation plans has been demonstrated to decrease criminal activities and make a public safer. To make sure the justice is preserved, it is our responsibility as society to judge carefully and compassionately the choice we have, as well as address the factors that can induce criminal behavior, such as lack of means and access to healthcare and learning. Do you think education can deter crime, or is it just a waste of time? Regular evaluation of a role of capital punishment in our legal system is essential. Besides, considering the ethical and moral implication of capital punishment, it is vital to seek an alternative way of guaranteeing community security without resorting to deadly force. In general, we must approach this intricate and knotty issue with utmost circumspection. We must meticulously scrutinize every aspect, taking into account both positive and negative aspects of debates, along with delving into the alternate resolution. By giving attention to this alternative and addressing the fundamental causes of crime, we can strive towards producing a more equitable and secure society after all. With that, I'll leave you with a question. Do you think capital punishment should be abolished for the sake of humanity, or should it remain in place to reduce evil in the world? That's all from us. Thank you.